says the man with no internet.
Right.
Well,
How are those Nerf guns, by the way?
Dude, they didn't just send like crap Nerf guns. Like, okay, they didn't just send, it wasn't like, here's the $5 Nerf blaster. They sent 2 battery powered Nerf guns. And one of them is like the Elite 2.0, shoots 120 feet. One of them is shaped like a T-Rex that auto fires darts. And then the other one is like a 4-in-1 thing.
Nice.
My son and daughter were over the moon. It was so cool. In fact, I've got these videos. I'm going to try to start them uploading while we're talking about it. And then I'll attach thumbnails to them later.
All right. Looks like things are stable.
Yep.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Yay, stability.
You need a stability upgrade, Jesse. You need to call Nintendo.
Right.
They will get you one. I promise.
I wonder if
they have stables to spare.
They do. Things are very, very stable there.
I wonder if I can reply to chat and Twitch on the Switch. I'm going to find out.
Twitch on the Switch.
All right. Should we get started?
Yeah.
Tim, did you want to open or do you want me to?
I could do it. I have it ready to go.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 351, recorded on November 11th, 2021. On tonight's episode, we discuss how awesome our community is and what a thunderful world this is. And we announce Netflix Gaming Dads. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Marty here. You're listening to Nintendo Dads, episode 351. It's November 11th, 2021. And man, what an awesome extra life. We're kind of coming down off the mountain from that. Tim's already kind of referred to that by talking about how awesome our community is. But we're excited to sit around tonight like a bunch of friends and fans and talk about all things Nintendo this week with you. Joining me on the show tonight, Mr. Justin Masson. How are you, brother?
What is going on? Oh, it's great. I'm doing well. Excited to be here. That's all I have. That is the end of the road on that conversation. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a good week. I am currently experiencing something you did just a few months ago. I am on a sabbatical from work.
Ooh, very nice.
This coming Sunday, I will be flying to the House of the Mouse.
Nice.
That's right. I will be in Disney World, spending every single dime I have left.
Well, hopefully not. But I will say they will make you poor. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's like, oh, hey, Marty.
Yeah.
Let me see your wallet.
Oh, it's mine now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's good. It's good. I'm glad you're able to go. It's an exciting time.
I'm really excited about it. Yeah. The last time we went, the kids, my kids were 5 and 4, or maybe it was 5 and 6. I'm not placing the year right there. But we had, like that was the time like we were all in on character breakfasts and standing in line to see princesses and things. We're going to ride rides.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite ride that you're looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I do. Ironically, I don't really like rides and I don't like heights, but I love Tower of Terror.
Oh, wow. I did not see that one coming.
Here's the thing, like Tower of Terror, like if you're sitting in there, I have a very specific request for Tower of Terror. If anybody knows how it is, like they take you up 13 stories and like you're in, like they drop you. Okay. And they drop you, and it's every drop on the Tower of Terror is completely randomized. It's a brand new ride every time you drop. Because there is a 13-foot drop that you go through, but there's lots of other little mini drops and things you do, and they're all randomized. But you are in a seat, you're buckled in, and that seat exists in rows inside of a cage. All right.
Okay.
So the front of it's open, but the other parts aren't. And so I feel a little bit better about that. So we're good. But I will say that my new favorite, hopefully, that we're going to go to is we're in the park 5 days out of the time we're there. And we're doing 2 days at Hollywood Studios so we can go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge for
nice.
Rise of the Resistance.
That is awesome.
I'm so excited. Like
I'm excited for you, man.
That's
awesome.
I might actually start following you on Twitter just for these pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to do like, the only bad thing is we were a little late on reservations there's a place there called Oga's Cantina that does Star Wars themed food.
Yeah.
Like blue milk and different things. And we were unable to get a rereservation. It just means we'll have to stand in line. But we're going to stand in line everywhere we go. It's totally fine. It's cool. And yeah, it's just, I'm excited. It's the biggest vacation we've taken in a long time. And it's like 2 full weeks of vacation. So we'll roll straight from that into Thanksgiving with my family and my wife's family. So spoiler alert, I won't be on the show the next 2 weeks. So, do we know what we're doing for Thanksgiving? Like that's a Thursday.
Well, it's
usually
American Thanksgiving, so I don't care because it's not the real Thanksgiving. So maybe it's just me doing a podcast, which will probably be better than most of our shows.
Can I do you stuff your turkeys with Timbits up there?
Mainly Timbits for sure. Timbits,
You're
coffee
not doing
crisps.
anything with my bits. What the heck are you talking about?
Can I ask this? I also saw
Tim
today in news from Canada that Tim Hortons
don't say it.
Is teaming up with Justin Bieber to release a line of Timbits called Tim Biebs. Have you eaten any Tim Biebs?
Today our nation mourns for the Tim Hortons. It's a sad day in the Great White North. And this is something if there's anything that has divided our country, vaccinations, education, Timbits and Justin Bieber joining is the biggest separation. The world's apart. Not yet. November 29th. They're a limited edition, but I will tell you, Tim Hortons is pushing those hard. We went through Timmy's today to pick up a coffee and some Timbits, actually.
Are they an exclusive flavor?
I don't know. Here's the thing. I saw it come up and I was like,
it's like desperation.
Are they flavored like sweatpants and disappointment?
It smells like teen spirit and bad decisions. Do you know what I mean? Like,
like peeing in a mop bucket.
What is a country's taste of disappointment? Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's probably what it tastes like.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're probably going to end up eating the Tim Biebs.
I probably will, and I probably will make some content on it. That's how I work. Okay, because I have no shame.
Speaking of Tim and his bits, Tim Off joining us all the way from Michigan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm scared. I mean, I'm a lost words now because of just all these Timbits. I'm afraid.
It's really an unfortunate name for something that is actually really good, which is donut holes.
Yeah.
Yep. But I'm doing fine. It's now that we've gotten off of, I'm done talking about work stuff. I'm fine because we'll get to talk about video game stuff. So
yes, always the best thing to talk about video game stuff with your pals. And speaking of pals, up there in on my screen, top left-hand corner, Pal Square, Jesse Waldack. How you doing, buddy?
I was trying to make a Hollywood Squares joke, but I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, all this donut talk makes me want to hit Krispy Kremes in the morning on my way to Best Buy.
Yeah. Speaking of, I got to go to Best Buy in the morning too. And that reminds me, there is not a chain donut place, but there's just a place right near there called Jackson Donuts that's just ridiculous. So guess what I'm eating for breakfast in the morning now? Thank you guys.
Oh, we're not guessing. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we were.
Donuts.
Oh, really? I didn't see that turn. I did. I didn't see that at all.
Surprise! Marty's going to eat donuts. Yeah. Guys, here's the thing. It's no surprise that we are going to talk about Nintendo and lots of news, as well as an update on Extra Life. So let's just dive right in, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's do it to it, Mr. Magoo.
I don't know if that's what Mr. Magoo sounds like, but anyway, our news is brought to us by Patreon.com.
Probably been 35 years since I've seen a Mr. Magoo cartoon.
Right. Well, and Mr. Magoo has never seen a Mr. Magoo cartoon, so
that is true. And anyone who's listening who is under 30 are like, what the hell are they talking about right now?
Yeah. I mean, really, let's just hedge our bets. Anyone under 50 is probably doesn't know what Mr. Magoo is. Again, our news is brought to you guys and all of us by you folks over at patreon.com/NintendoDads. That's our Discord community and our online home for all things Nintendo Dads. You can become a part of this by heading over to that URL, patreon.com/NintendoDads, and drop in $1. $1 gets you access to our community, to the Discord. $5 gets you all of the channels. $10 gets you pre and post show audio and a sweet art bonus every now and then, which Justin, I think we're just uploading one of those, correct?
Yeah, I think Tim, Tim, who runs that thing? You are the one who is sending that out. Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be out tomorrow. It is some sweet art commemorating the release of Metroid Dread this quarter. And then for $30, you get to be on the show. You are termed a Patreon producer. And we are very thankful for all of our patrons, whether you're at the $1 level or the $30 level. It doesn't matter. You guys are family. You're awesome. You're part of family. And so we're very thankful for you. And we're also very thankful for each and every person who helped us out this past weekend during Extra Life. I'm so excited to announce that all Extra Life participants combined over the weekend raised this year have raised over 10 million USD for children's hospitals.
Wow.
Which I believe is up like 3 million from the year before.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Which is pretty incredible. We exceeded our Extra Life goal by almost $1,000, coming in at $4,956 after a whole weekend of streaming where Tim, Jesse, Justin, and I, and all the rest of our Nintendo Dads family podcast jumped in and did an amazing, amazing job. Fortnite was played, Plock was beaten, chips were eaten, and there's still a lot more to come. Here's what I want to do. I want to throw this out right here. Guys, you'll notice that total that I just said just a minute ago, $4,956. We had our original goal was $4,000. We were sitting after that at $4,906. Out of the blue, had a $50 donation made this week. It would be really awesome if we could make that a round number. Just saying. I would love to say that we raised $5,000 this year. And so here's the deal. Our fundraising campaign for Extra Life does not end until the end of December. And so it could be one person's donation. It could be whatever. Maybe folks want to talk about it in the Discord, but maybe something like that, like a $44 donation to push us up to that $5,000 would be awesome. And you can just head over to extra-life.org and search Nintendo Dads, and boom, there we are. Make it everybody reach their goal for the weekend. So just make a donation to one of us and let's push that up there to 5,000. That would be really cool.
Now, the most important, we're in this pocket, I believe this is the most we have ever raised. Am I correct on that?
That's right. Correct.
Which I believe now brings us very close, if not past, the $20,000 mark that the Team Nintendo Dads has raised since our work with Extra Life. And that is absolutely incredible. In this year, we have a couple things I want to say. Huge shout out to PDP Gaming, who sent us a massive box of sweet gear, which is going to be heading out right away. They have continued to be tremendous partners with us, and we're so thankful for the group over at PDP. Big shout out to Manscaped. You've heard of them. You know them. We're going to talk about them later, but they pitched in this year as well and provided us a Performance Package 4.0 to one of our fantastic folk. Bruce Patterson, for this amazing Triforce work that he has done, this amazing statue that's going out as well. These are absolutely tremendous sponsors and supporters of the show. So thank you for that. Now, the most important question that we get asked, and really the reason why we show up. Sure, helping kids is important. I like that. It's great. Video games are great. I love that. Hanging out with my friends, absolutely loving it. Watch Jesse nearly die because of a hot chip. Man, I am for that. Every day I will click like and subscribe. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, why do you show up every single year? It's to beat the NINDADS. And ladies and gentlemen, for the 5th year in a row, you're looking at the champions, the Nintendo dads, beating the NINDADS substantially yet once again. Hey, Adam. Hey, John. Suck it.
That's right. We're the limousine riding, jet flying, suit wearing son of a guns. That was your cue, Jesse.
I don't remember where that button went.
Oh my God. You've got one job.
It was the one you just played just a minute ago.
Oh, the woo again. I was looking for something else.
There you go. Kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, Megadad beating. I can keep going. But anyway, it's so hard. It's a privilege every year.
Yeah.
To play for kids and beat the Megadad.
I was looking for the Marty Rhodes music, but I think I removed
there you
that
go.
button.
There you go. Yeah, baby. We're gonna come through and get over. Yeah, see, here what we're gonna do next year. We're gonna top up around 25,000 smackaroos for them little chillins out there needing all that healing and the wheeling and the dealing and the kids and the families. It's just a wonderful thing. Yeah, dude, look, 3 p.m. on Saturday, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I had to cash out, and I went home and went to bed, and somebody anonymous, this is like, I don't know who it is. Somebody dropped like a $530 donation to finish off mine. That was, it was, I woke up and that had happened. Yeah. You guys as a community blow us away every year by your generosity. And so here from my heart and our heart, thank you so much for playing for those and giving to those hospitals. You're really making a difference. And if you didn't hear it on the stream, Justin gave away a prize in the midst of our stream. And that is a PDP controller already given away to Brad Kaboski.
Yeah.
And so Brad, contact us, give us your information about how we can shoot that controller on over to you and other prizes, including the Triforce, some flip grips, a Skull and Company grip that Tim's got, all this stuff. They're going to be drawn in the coming days.
Okay. Hold on. We've also got the new Game & Watch, right? We're giving that away.
Game & Watch.
We got that. We're giving away. We're also giving away someone a very free game, their choice, whatever video game they want. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo
edition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're not that stupid. Like I got a
standard edition, brand new game.
Yeah. So we're doing the draws for that soon. We're going to start contacting folks as well. Man, just a tremendous success. Hats off to every single person who did it. I saw that, and congratulations, Marty, Tim, Jesse, you guys did a fantastic job this year. Ebisol, jumped in, helped out. I saw Mecha Dragon jump in, first time streamer, right? John, Drew, the guys over at Game Pass News. Man, this really felt like, and it does every year. And we talked about this before we launched Extra Life this year. This was really community driven, right? Like you can show up and watch Marty or me or whoever play, but man, I am so proud and so much love to the fact that our community is like, I'm in, I want to play. We own the show. I'm going to play. Right. Like, and we were able to run it from Friday all the way to Sunday. Man, guys, this is just, so good. So good.
And can we, I'm going to lift the lid a little bit on Extra Life 2020. We don't know how this is going to work.
2022.
I
was like,
2020.
Doc, we're going back to see Extra Life again. We're going to meet the NINDADS again, Doc.
No, we're not going back to 2020 ever. 2022. The plan is 4 dads, one room.
Location. 4 dads, one location,
one room.
A weekend like no other.
Challenges all weekend
Extra
long.
Life 2022.
Yeah. It's going to be, and you're going to
subscribe to your nearest pay-per-view. Sunday. I'll need a coffee because it's Sunday and I'm tired.
I love it.
Got a little Randy Savage there for just a second. Snapping to Slim Jim.
Yeah, right.
That was good. I appreciate that. Let's move on. Let's talk about some other news. Again, thanks to you guys for supporting us through Extra Life. In a surprise move today, Twitch is now available on the Nintendo Switch. So I don't know why, but as I said to my son earlier, you've heard of Elf on the Shelf. Now here's Twitch on the Switch.
Yes. And if you're watching us on Twitch on your Switch right now, take a photo of it. Just please. I would like to see it.
If you're watching Twitch on the Switch, comment and say, I'm on Twitch on the Switch.
We have the exact same thing happen when YouTube was put on Switch. Yeah. We had people share that. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. For the brief moment I looked and saw that there is only one thing wrong with it, and that you can't participate in the chat while watching on the Switch. You can just watch.
Well, that sounds about right for Nintendo.
Yeah, there's no way. There was nothing to pop up the chat or participate in the chat.
That's probably it may come. I mean, it may be there. This may have been
Jesse, there's a fantastic sound clip of Sideshow Bob as he steps out from The Simpsons and gets a rake to the face every single time. Can we find that sound clip? Because that's going to be the Nintendo sound clip now, which is you just about got it and then thump. Right? That is good.
I could hear it from my childhood. Thank you.
Yeah, this is exactly the Nintendo thing. We've given you Twitch, but not quite.
Now, hang on. Is it Nintendo or is it Twitch?
I bet you it's Nintendo.
Well, probably because
dollars for
there may be people talking. We don't want people to interact. I don't know.
I'll look for this clip.
We'll figure it out. Anyway, it's available. It's free, so there's not much to complain about. But you already probably have about 15 other devices that Twitch plays on, including your smart fridge. So, there you go.
Toaster.
It's there if you need it, right? Other big news this week is that Thunderful World happened yesterday, which was Thunderful Games' first ever
published games.
I guess.
These are games that Thunderful is publishing.
Well, I was saying it was their first ever big presentation.
Yes.
Games they were publishing. And this included, guys, I did not get to see this. About how long was this presentation?
25
minutes, give or take. Yeah, 20 to 25.
So looking down through our kind of write-up here, it seemed to be kind of an action-packed 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm. There was only one game they kind of slowed down and talked more detail about it, but everything else is pretty fast-paced.
So we're going to go through here and hit some highlights of this. From some people who did get to look at it. I didn't get to. What are some games from this presentation that we know for sure are coming to Nintendo Switch?
Well,
I don't think there's anything that we know for sure.
Yeah.
Most things, if that said PC and console, is probably coming to everything.
Yeah.
There is actually one I do know is coming to the Switch because it was announced before and they showed it again, and that's the Fire Girl Hack and Splash.
Yep. I'm
really looking forward to that one and happy to see that on there again. So
there were a couple too that were very specifically said are not coming to Switch. I'm looking at title Industria that was said it was PS5 and Xbox X Series X and S only. Also White Shadows, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC only.
Planet of Lana is Xbox only and PC.
There is a lot of these that say something along the lines of PC and consoles. And so Jesse, you were right. Planet of Lana, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, and PC.
And
so not even PS5 there.
Yeah, and the Gunk. That one's also Xbox only, and that one will be available on Game Pass.
I'm sorry, I missed that one as well because this is spanning.
Because that was the Game Pass game.
The amount of games that are that were announced are actually spanning about a page and a half. So, yeah.
There is one that really jumped out to me, and it was probably because of the term they used. Instead of Metroidvania, they said Motorvania. And of course, motor meaning cars, and Metroidvania, two genres put together. I was like, I'm sold. And that was the Leica Age Through Blood game. Oh my gosh. I the brief amount they showed me was interesting, but it's just the term Motorvania is what's got me hooked already on this. So that's the one that jumped out to me at the top of the list for me.
Yeah, any of these titles really stick out to you guys? Because I think probably most of the people here that listen to us, it would probably just be best served by going and watching this in replay instead of us like detailing every single one, especially when we don't know if they're coming to Switch or not.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple that start off with Wave Tail. That was actually a Google Stadia exclusive developed by Zoink Games, and it was released actually yesterday on Google Stadia. This is announced as a PC and console in 2022. I actually got a review copy of it yesterday, or actually today. Had an opportunity to play it. It is a very cool game. We're going to talk about it in I guess we can talk about it now instead of what we've been playing. It's an adventure game, fantastic audio design, great voiceover. The art style is animated but cool. You have this power where you like surf over top of water, and the moment you like hit the water, it feels like you're surfing. It's a really cool mechanic. They've got this like high boost power where you're grabbing stuff and coming forward. It's a lot of fun. It's a very cool game. Again, art, sound, gameplay. It's hitting really well for me. And your objective is to kind of collect these sparks because there's this kind of like this evil force that's coming into the area, and your grandma's there, and they've got it kind of in some ways reminds me a little bit of Sea of Solitude when you kind of think of this like a world that's flooded over, this kind of ominous force. But just the design is very cool. We've got a first look that's coming up on our YouTube page tomorrow. You should take a look at it there. I really, really loved it. I'd highly recommend that as well. The other game, Super Meat Boy Forever coming to mobile. That one was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Curse to Golf, which
that's the Drew game.
That's the Drew game. That one looks really, really cool. It looks like Golf Story, sort of like it's got a little bit of that. It just looks good. Curse to Golf is the one that stood out for me.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
Out of all these games that are listed, which one do you think Marty would like? I have one that I think Marty would like.
You go ahead and say that because I don't know to be honest.
Swordship.
Yeah.
I did see a clip of that one and thought that was really interesting. The other one that I was kind of interested in was the one you talked about, Tim, the Motorvania.
Yes.
And Hell Pie looked interesting.
Okay.
It's a dumb name for a game.
Yeah.
What I want to throw this out there. Did you guys notice that none of these titles are 2021 at all for any systems?
Other than the way they dropped yesterday.
Well, there was a few December games, but none
Fire
of them.
Girl
None of the Switches.
Supposed to be.
Sorry, Wavetail's not on a console. It's on a streaming service.
White Shadows is December 7th. Gunk is this year.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Gunk is December 16th.
Yeah, but it's Game Pass only.
But
and I guess we are pretty close to 2022. So it's just there was a lot of this is coming out in the future, PC getting a lot this year. Console not so much.
In fact, two of the games they mentioned are PC only, and they're available now through Steam Early Access. Tinkertown and Source of Madness.
Gotcha.
I think Fire Girl was supposed to be sooner, but it was delayed. So
yeah. I remember getting Go ahead, Jesse.
Fire Girl is PC on December 14th and on console sometime next year.
Yeah, I remember us getting like the press release for that to request a code a while ago.
Interesting that none of you guys are mentioning Steam World Headhunter.
Well, that was the last one that I would.
I didn't get to that yet.
We're going to end with that one because that's.
Well, now we can talk about it and. Yeah. So, what you guys think about this?
Well, that's the one I'm interested in, just because I've liked all prior Steam World games except for the DSi one, but most people don't even know that exists. But every game since Dig I have liked, and this one is a direct follow up to Steam World Dig 2. It's a 3D model game. I think it's their first one that's 3D modeled in the Steam World universe. And they call it a third-person co-op action adventure with a head-popping twist.
It's going to be interesting. and I'm a little leery that it'll make its way to the Switch.
I was thinking the same thing.
I do wish that it was like I was hoping for SteamWorld Dig 3, but this one looks interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think it looks interesting, but I am kind of with Tim. I am leery. Is this actually going to hit the Switch, or are they are they out graphicsing it? That's the word I'm going to use there.
I'm also concerned about what the play style is, because other than Dig and Dig 2, every game kind of is a different play style. A turn-based strategy game, tower defense game, or a card-based RPG. So it depends on what type of game this is something it will determine more whether I like it or not, because there are certain genres I just don't like. But as the turn-based strategy one was an example of, they can make it, even though I don't normally like games like that, they can make it so I like it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting what the name of that game is, but I did like that on the 3DS.
Oh, Heist, SteamWorld Heist.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a turn-based shooter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm turn-based shooter. I mean, it's like a strategy shooter. I mean, I don't know how you describe it.
But it was still on two planes, but normally those are on an XY plane, but this is on an XZ plane.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about this for their first presentation? I mean, do you feel like it was pretty good? Do you feel like could have done something a little bit different? Maybe wanted a little bit more? What are your thoughts?
I like
go ahead,
Mark,
Tim, sorry.
I was going to say I like Mark Hamill's interaction and the setup of it all, and I think it was pretty clever and fun.
And his fake tomes.
Yes. He kept getting them all fake ones. That was pretty funny.
And Marty is like, what are they talking about? Because he hasn't seen the
Yeah, I'll watch it and figure it out here in a little bit.
I thought they did a great job. Right. It was punchy. It was quick. We knew it was coming on. I thought Mark Hamill being a host was great.
And he even made a Wing Commander reference, which is, again, a game most people probably forgot about.
Yeah. You knew they were marching towards the one more thing at the end, right? And so the question was it going to be SteamWorld Dig 3? What was it going to be? But I thought they delivered really well. And I think they're just, it's great because what I think they're trying to do, and Thunderful has really been growing steam, no pun intended on the Steam World part, right? But has been gaining that momentum and that growth to now really be a pretty, starting to trying to get some swagger in their publisher feet around them. And they're really becoming this kind of support for indie games, which I think is fantastic. And I think they're kind of becoming they were already before a top tier indie game developer, but nice part they're moving into this being a top tier indie publisher game as well, right? And I think we're also, the other thing I really like about it is we're seeing a very diverse portfolio from them, right? You've got a game that's directly on Google Stadia today. You've got a game that is just Xbox Game Pass, right, with Gunk. They're not just kind of sitting in that one thing that they do, and so they're really kind of creating this mini market for themselves, which I think is really important for them and their growth. So I think it's great.
It's almost like a indie super developer, almost like Devolver Digital, and I think we could see them do presentation around E3 time again, just like Devolver does. And
most of these developers, this is their freshman effort. This is their first game. So they're putting some little trust in new teams to see what they do, and I kind of like that. They're a publisher putting forth a little risk in 2021. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it ends up. Let's talk about Nintendo's Black Friday offerings here for just a minute. Nintendo, we are heading toward the Black Friday shopping holiday here in the United States. Justin, does this happen in Canada as well?
Yep.
I think we probably ask this does it happen with the fervor of
nobody's getting stabbed for a Tickle Me Elmo? I'll say that right now. Good for you, America, by the way. Good for you that's on your track record. It definitely does. And And you'll see all the advertising on here, Black Friday and go to the brick. And, so Black Friday is definitely something that occurs up in Canada. There is a fever for it. I just don't think it's to the as aggressive of a level that we may have seen sometimes the US demonstrate, but it's definitely a huge thing and definitely a big thing for our markets as well. Nintendo of Canada has already sent us a press release saying, here's our Black Friday deals. Surprise, they're similar.
And actually, I saw the Canada PR first before I saw Nintendo of America's numbers. So I decided to wait to take notes until I saw the North America's version, so I had all the prices right.
Yeah. So here's what's coming down the pipe.
Artificially inflated pricing.
If you're one of the people that is out there that still does not have a Nintendo Switch, or you have a relative that is just jonesing for a Switch this holiday, there will again be the good old Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle offered for $299.99. But this does come with the Mark II Switch. So not the OLED, but the Switch revision that happened about, was it 2.5 years ago?
Yeah.
Roundabout. So longer battery life, a little more stable.
It was about everything. When Switch Lite launched, whenever that was.
Yeah. Yeah. So also launching along with that is a slate of discounted games for $39.99 each.
Actually, before we get there, that bundle also comes with 3 months of NSO individual membership.
Yeah. So you can do that, or you can be like my sister-in-law, who, when we went to add her to my family plan, said, "Oh, we never use that three-month bundle thing anyway." So there you go. Discounted games. These are going to be $20 off full retail. So you can choose from Breath of the Wild, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Maker 2, Paper Mario, The Origami King, Kirby Star Allies, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Astral Chain, which is surprising, but also surprising, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition will join this lineup as well. There's a little something for everybody. Interesting by its absence, Smash Brothers. They still want you to pay full price for that. They're paying those Mickey bucks back for Sora. So those will be available pretty much. That price is going to be everywhere for those first party games. Also, some additional deals. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit will be $40 off, down to $59.99, which is a steal considering that they've continued to add to this game throughout the year. I
saw that actually at Walmart, and it was like a drop, and then all of a sudden they were sold out.
Yep. They'll probably be hard to find.
I was going to try to get Luigi, but they just were gone.
Speaking of being gone and hard to find, Ring Fit Adventure will also get a discount and be $25 off, which is now $54.99. Guys, out of everything Nintendo's doing this holiday, these are the two biggest discounts. These are the two best deals. Take it from the dads. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit and Ring Fit Adventure. These are if you don't have these, now is the time to snap those up. Also, there'll be other eShop digital games at a discounted rate. Third-party games will go on sale through the eShop as well as indie devs. You'll just have to check on there. There's usually a ton of savings for about 4 or 5 days, like over the weekend of Black Friday. So save up your points, save up your dollars. That is coming really, really soon. And the interesting thing here is these Black Friday offerings will start November 21st. So actually that Nintendo Switch bundle with an NSO membership for $299, basically you're getting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for free. You can start purchasing that way before Thanksgiving. You can go ahead and avoid a lot of that silliness. If I'm looking, that's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. That thing's going to go on sale. So look for that to go in and out of stock on Walmart, Target, Best Buy, different things like that. And check too, they may have some other deals alongside that. One thing I would say that I would avoid, and is this: Best Buy has a new thing that they're doing called Total Tech. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
It's a Total Tech membership. All right. So it's basically, I think $200 a year. Right. And it's $199.99 yearly membership. You get free Geek Squad support, free delivery, 24 months of product protection. So it's basically insurance, all that stuff. But hidden under there is access to exclusive Total Tech member prices. And so what they've been doing is selling PS5s and Xbox Series X's and Nintendo Switch OLEDs behind the Total Tech membership.
I have seen that, but I didn't understand what that membership was.
Yeah, don't buy that. Don't do it. No. It's like, ask yourself how much you're really going to use that $200 worth a year, and just look around. If you want an OLED, they're going to be there. They're not as hard to find as people think they are. They are a little bit hard to find.
Yeah. Do you add on the extra $399 for 6 months of protection? No. So why would you do $200?
All right. I've seen people selling OLEDs locally in like the Facebook Marketplace scalper section for $450. Get that crap out of here. Just make them sit on those things until they can't sell them, and then they're out. That money. Stop buying from scalpers. Just don't do it. It's a personal pet peeve of mine.
The more you know.
Yeah. It's funny because my wife listens to a podcast with that soundbite. So some little kid. So really? A lot of times I wake up in the morning because she's listening to it in the shower. It's like, the more you know. I hate that kid. Wakes me up every time. Coming out real soon, guys. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This is interesting. November 19th, when you go and buy your Pokemon Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl local in a physical version, it won't have the full game on the cart. Yeah, Nintendo's pulling one of those. It will not have the full game on the cart. NintendoLife.com reporting that the game received an update to 1.1.0 earlier today, which is 8 days prior to release, that adds the following. So a lot of the game is there, but it also adds a lot of anticipated features that aren't going to be there until you update it, like this. The addition of the Grand Underground, Super Contest Show, Union Room, and Mystery Gift communication features, the addition of content after entering the Hall of Fame, including the Ramanas Park, and the addition of some in-game cutscenes and animations. And y'all, there's already leaks out there of this game. People are already bootlegging it. Stop it. And they're complaining that Nintendo left in the MIDI music in the game, the incomplete version of the game.
This is why you don't.
That's right.
Why we can't have nice things.
This is why they did that.
Yep. Stop pirating games.
Just go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so if you buy the digital version on day one, you'll get it patched right away. You don't have to reinstall a patch. But if you get the cart, you're gonna get a patch. You're gonna want to patch it first.
Yeah, don't start, just wait for the download. But I will say that sounds like a pretty substantial download. So be sure you've got.
Well, what sucks about this is for people like you, Marty, who will be at home, get this for Christmas.
No, we're not getting it for Christmas.
No, I'm just saying people like you.
We're getting it the day it comes out. But the crap
people
part about
who
it is
have crappy internet, essentially, is what I'm saying.
I actually have this. Yeah, I actually have this pre-ordered through Amazon, and I'm canceling my Amazon pre-order for it and just buying it digitally. I'm not going to deal with the physical edition. Because we're going to be where we have good internet.
Yeah.
We're going to be where the good internet is, where all the connections and downloads begin.
Happen.
Oh, a place where there is good internet. Not Marty's house.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. And look, the song fits. I want to be part of your world. Want to be where the downloads are. Anyway, speaking of downloads, for the three of you who downloaded and purchased Jump Force. That game is going to be delisted early next year with online services ending later. Starting February 8th, the game DLC and virtual currency will no longer be available. Online services will end on the evening of August 24th, 2022. Content that will no longer be available will be logging into multiplayer lobby, online events, clan functions, blah, 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 blah. Probably stuff that nobody really uses anyway. Content that will be available after the end of the online services, offline content, online battles that aren't ranked, and purchased DLC content.
Yeah, which is why I said for the 3 of you who bought it.
Yeah,
because
nobody bought that game. I don't know. They probably did. Now we're going to get all the people like, I bought it. Well, anyway. And in the next up, I'd like to call this next news segment, haha, we told you so. The Steam Deck has now been delayed for 2 months. Yeah. Also, the Playdate has also been delayed by many months. There you go. Steam Deck, people who've pre-ordered this will get to keep their places in line. But of course, supply chain issues and material shortages are said to be the reason, with future shipments, meaning the first set of shipments being planned for February 2022. So that's not really that big, but if you were hoping for this for Christmas, we're sorry for you. It just means that you'll have more time to work up those hand muscles to hold that massive unit and actually play those games. That's what she said. Also, Playdate has been delayed. The first 20,000 units were planned to be shipped before the end of the year. They'll now be shipping in early 2022. The next 20,000 units will be delayed to the second half of 2022, with other delays following into 2023. If you pre-ordered, like some people did, you'll receive an email indicating which of the 5 10,000 unit groups you're in. But they did confirm that if somebody ahead of you cancels their order, you'll move up accordingly. So if you're in low in group 3, you might be moved into group 2. And it's actually, they've had some problems with this. Faulty batteries in the first 5,000 units are part of the problems, but they've also had CPU shortages. They also then went on to announce a public beta of the Playdate SDK named Pulp, which will be available in January with a full public release in February so people can develop games for it. Tim, did you pre-order the Playdate? Yeah. So this has got to be.
Yes, I did.
Which group were you in?
It said I was in a group 2.
So okay, so yours.
I'm also
we're
in
looking
group
second
2.
half of 2022 for you now.
No, we're still in the early one.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Groups 1 and 2 were late 2021. Now we're in early 2022.
Oh, okay. So both of you pre-ordered this.
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted to. I just didn't have the funds at the time. I wish I had of. Looks like I'm probably going to be waiting until 2023 for this now.
Yeah, it was fun reading that. I like how they said it though. They were just like, it's congratulations on the first email, but then they were like, we got bad news. So yeah, it was still nice communication because it's what we always ask for from companies who are going to have delays, is just communicate, talk to us.
I don't remember.
Say something.
Yes.
I don't remember which. I think it might have been the Planet of Lana's developer, Wistfully. But one of the developers in the Thunderful World presentation, is making a game for Playdate, and will be part of their season 1 games. Yep. I just forget which one it is. So I didn't note it.
Also of note, I think, as you say something about wanting people to talk about things, Chicken Wiggle.
That's what I was thinking of when I said that.
It got delayed, guys. It got delayed to 2022.
Justin's like, oh no.
Yeah. Like the day after I heard people complaining on Twitter, we haven't had an update in over a year. He pushes an update.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything about like, here's the deal. I've loved a lot of games that Jules has made. I think that he got a lot more games made when he was with Renegade Kid and not a Tui. Maybe I'm wrong in that summation. It seems like a lot of those games came out before the split. I really want to believe that there's more to this story than is being talked about. As a guy who has made those good games, I want him to succeed, but I also understand the frustration. So are we able to see both sides of the coin here? Is that okay that we can see both sides of the coin?
I think that you can, right? Well, here's so I'm going to talk us down off the ledge here. Right.
I'm not on the.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not.
Hear me when I say this. As someone who backs $10, I am not on a ledge.
Yeah.
As someone who there is somebody in this call that backed $100.
I know somebody.
They may be on a ledge.
I know somebody who backed $400.
Yeah, I think I know of someone who backed $500.
Yeah. So go ahead. But say what you're going to say.
I think that it is okay to. I think it's okay to have a conversation about this, right? And to be open to both sides of it. I've talked about before, when someone gets something from Kickstarter, you never really know how long it's going to take or what's going to happen. So there is that, right? I think you can definitely be disappointed and frustrated for sure. But I also think that we just have to treat each other and this is not, Marty, let me be very clear. This is not a shot at you, right? This is a shot in just general in life, in just the world at large. We need to learn to give grace, right? And so
absolutely, I do not take that as a shot at all.
Awesome, and that's not just about a video game that we have backed on a Kickstarter, but it's about giving grace to people, about looking to seek to understand perspectives. And I think as we as parents, we as fathers have to model that grace. Right. And saying like, hey, help me understand. Hey, it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be disappointed. We don't know the challenges that he's going through with it. So I'm happy that a communication was put out. Inevitably, when Chicken Wiggle shows up, we're going to play it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Can I say this? And I want to say this in a way of, I really hesitate to even say it. I want you to know that struggle with this. Because it's going to sound like, ooh, Marty, how virtuous you are. If you followed me around for a day or a week, you would know how much I fall short. Okay. But I've said some not very nice and very unfair things about Jules on the show. And I reached out to him about 6 months ago and apologized. Privately. I didn't do it publicly because I didn't want people going, oh, look. I just sent him a DM. And said, dude, I feel like I've been pretty unfair to you, and I'm sorry for that because I haven't shown you the grace that I would want to be shown to me, just like you just said. And he responded, and we had a fairly good conversation there around that. And so, hear me when I say this. That I don't say that and like, oh, it's delayed again to bust his balls. I'm disappointed it's delayed again. I would like to play the game. I thought it was good on 3DS. I wish it was already here. I want it to succeed for him because I want him to make other good games. Yeah. Okay. Like I want him to make those other games that I know he has on the burner.
Yeah.
Not Pick-Tui because I don't like Picross. But I mean, if you want to make like Zeo, if you want to do Zeo Drifter 2,
game.
Yes.
Treasure Knots has been out there forever. That was a 3DS game rumored 6 years ago.
Right. I'm just saying, I felt like it was news. I felt like when they bring it up, there it is.
Yep.
Speaking of a couple little other news beats here, Netflix has launched an Apple Arcade-like service for their subscribers involving 5 games that you can play now if you have the service.
Is that on Android though only right now?
It is. It is Android.
No, it just released on iOS earlier this week.
Oh,
yeah.
Some people have said that their Netflix app is showing a games tab. Mine is not. But if I search for games in the search bar, they do show up, and you tap on them, and then they bring you to the App Store page so you can download it and play it.
So if you have a Netflix account, you're going to be able to go and download the individual game apps on iOS and Android devices.
Yeah. So however, my understanding, this works like Apple Arcade. That's how Apple Arcade works too. You still download the app separately, but with the subscription, you can play it for free.
But now on the like, if you're on the desktop, like on a computer or PC, MacBook, whatever, you can play these natively in the browser. Is that correct?
That I don't know.
Okay. So somebody out there can tell us that. I don't know either. But that is bundled in with your subscription. Currently, right now, those games are 2 Stranger Things games. And
that was a card game of some sort, like a
Card Blast, Shooting Hoops, and Teeter Up. Those sound like
this is winners. Such a I don't think we really had this conversation, right, about Netflix getting into the gaming space, because I think this is interesting, right? They made this like it's a very different level of interesting, right? I mean, it's not competing in the Nintendo and Xbox and PlayStation space, right? And I would argue really what the space is trying to compete in is the Apple Arcade space, which is a great analogy you put there, Marty, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the every person who says they're not a gamer. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, your mom or your dad who's like, I don't play video games. You're like, Mom, you just Candy Crushed it for the last 3 hours while watching Dr. Phil. Don't give me this BS that you ain't playing video games. Yeah, right? So they've created this accessibility of like, hey, if I'm already, and the other nice part about it is if I'm already paying for it, right? If I'm already paying for it as part of my Netflix subscription and it's easily accessible for me, I may jump in. This is another.
At least for now, they haven't increased the rate.
Yeah, they haven't increased it yet. I think this is a great example of again, that industry understanding that what is the additional value we add, right? And we talk about this idea of value add a lot. Right. So I understand, when and this is also to combat the fact that recently Netflix has seen subscription numbers drop. Right. Well, guess why? It's because now you're in a crowded streaming service, right? When you've got something like Disney Plus, you know, Apple's TV service, like you've got so many streaming services where Netflix used to be the big dog that now the attention and the options are being diluted. Right. And this is the case with video games as well. When there's 1 or 2 big dogs, that's it. But when there's 5 or 6 big dogs, you only have so much time and energy. So you have to decide which one to go to. But what Netflix is trying to do here is make a strategy of, you're already paying for it. Let me give you more value. But the idea already being is that it is perceived value because you're already paying for it. They're like, oh, here's another reason you should stay. We're giving you this for free, right? It's another hook in there. It's a really interesting thing. And again, it's a great example of large companies. Look at Amazon. I see it was called out here by Mecca. Look at Google, Netflix, right? These big organizations and companies who own IPs, right? So look at Stranger Things. Again, that's an IP that they own. Looking to expand their kind of multiverse, expand their universe of subscriptions and bringing people by offer video games as kind of a gateway to continue to be connected with that content as well. I don't think it's going to be successful. I don't think it's going. We're going to see some games on it. It'll be a little bit of fun probably. But I don't know if this has the staying power. But again, I think, and this is also why people bust my balls a little bit about, Luna, Google, Stadia, blah, blah, blah. I think anytime that there's some gaming happening in a gaming space, it helps to move the industry forward, right? It challenges our thought. It brings in more users. It can create innovation, which I think are good things. So despite the fact that I don't think it's going to have a massive hold, I think it's still an interesting thing from a business perspective. It'll be very interesting to watch.
Can't exist until you have a bunch of crap ones.
That's exactly
teaching people how to not do it.
And let me say this: this is not the first game that's been on Netflix. Minecraft Story Mode has been on Netflix for a while, and
yes.
And here's the thing: before you knock on it a little bit, they're actually getting on soon after November 16th launch on Switch and PC. They will be getting Hex Tech Mayhem, a League of Legends story, which is being described as Bit Trip Bomberman.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in with, like, think about this. I have a Switch. This game interests me, but I also have Netflix. Why am I going to buy it on my Switch?
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy and a place to be again. Like I just think this stuff is very interesting to see what happens. I believe that they're more competing in the Apple Arcade space than I do looking at, Luna or the Switch as their competitor, right? But again, this is another great example of on-the-go gaming.
One thing that I don't think Apple has been very transparent about is how many Apple Arcade subscriptions there are. I would be interested in saying,
gee, Marty, do you think the fact they recently bundled that into the one Apple subscription is a pretty key indicator in regards to how some of those subscription models are going? Possibly,
but I also think it's because Apple likes to tout that easiness, even though it's not really easy.
So we did not subscribe to Apple Arcade. Yeah. I did like the month trial. I was like, yeah, we're sure. And they're like, pay another $6. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. But when they did the one Apple, I literally did up the math and I was like, well, I'm paying for Apple TV. I'm paying for the streaming music service. By the way, we're going to move the kids or the family to, instead of being one account, to 5 accounts. So we can all have music now. Guess what? Knock, knock. I'm at that door.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll pay that fee. And now I get Apple Arcade for free. Right. Plus so I was like, that was the only reason we got it, is because it actually like rolled in easily to our bundle.
Sure. And same thing. I mean, we had kids with Apple IDs. We had my wife, and I mean, you can do music, you can do the games, you can do all that, and it actually is cheaper than doing it all
a la carte.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, once you're in that world, they just got you by the
walled garden.
The
bits, the Timbits. They got you.
Yeah, there it is. They got you by the Timbits. Son of a gun.
Speaking of games, one last little note here. A game that we've got our eye on, that we think you should have your eye on. The Wild at Heart is releasing this next week. Guys, can we just say this? It's 2D Pikmin.
Yeah, it looks so good.
It's 2D Pikmin, but it's not Hey Pikmin. So give it a try.
Yeah.
I think it looks really interesting.
Yeah, I played this earlier this year on Xbox and liked it.
I'm excited.
Hey, if Jesse liked it, then man,
I'm already getting into this. Yeah,
it scratches the Pikmin itch.
Yeah.
Which, if you have a Pikmin itch, please see your doctor. Let me ask you this: I know we're about to segue off to the Manscaped read here, so it's fine. Give me a second. I want to ask the 4 of you, or maybe this is. I don't know. Do we have anything in rumors? Do we have anything in rumors conversation?
Nope.
No. I'll ask this question after the Manscaped ad. It's fine.
All right. Well, with that, guys, let's take a break for just a couple of minutes for our sponsor, Manscaped.
Am I still using that video, or do you?
Yeah, you're still using the video.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
How do we not talk about this in post-show or pre-show? Support in Nintendo Dads is brought to you by Manscaped. Now, this holiday season, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving thanks to our friends over at Manscaped. Do I tell my extended family that I have the Performance Package 4.0 from the global leader in men's below-the-belt grooming? Not to mention that it also includes a Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer to tame my bush and score brownie points with the in-laws. Now, hey, listen, gift yourself Manscaped, or potentially the man in your life who needs it. Join the over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with 20% off plus free shipping with the code NINDADS, NINDADS, by going to manscaped.com. Now, maybe you're like, Justin, I know about the trimmer. I know about all these wonderful, wonderful tools they have. What else they got? Hey, I got you and Manscaped has got you, because Manscaped has been busy and have just launched the refined body wash and 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner. Both feature Manscaped's signature scent and will help unlock your confidence this year. And let me tell you, I have been using the body wash. I absolutely love it. I love the smell of it. Man, it's fantastic. I'm going to be honest, your boys and your body will feel so fresh and smell so fantastic. So hey, start off your self-care routine with the ultimate body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. Again, head over to manscaped.com, enter the code NINDADS, NINDADS, and get 20% off and free shipping. Thanks very much to Manscaped for the continued support, and back to you. God, that guy has a sexy voice. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
He should do ad reads all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting story about Manscaped, though. I know we're going to come back to this. Have you guys all got the new body wash stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if it's available in Canada yet. I don't think it's been approved by the or what. I never got one yet. And typically I get the shipping, so I don't know what happened there. I'm waiting. Hopefully it's going to show up soon.
Contraband.
Yeah. I know, right? I'm gonna have to check. I have to check that in. Maybe it's in my mailbox right now, but it wasn't there this week. So
yeah. So let's talk.
Or is
about
it Robo Protector Band?
Get out of here. All right. This isn't really a rumor, but this is just a conversation. So, gentlemen, we're rolling into we got 7 weeks till the end of the year, right? Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to ask, what games are you looking forward to that are supposed to be, so using some important words here, supposed to be arriving in 2021 that was maybe announced as, but maybe are either currently on the eShop is coming soon, or we were told they're coming in 2021 and maybe they're coming in 2021. Is there any games that you're looking forward to the next 6 to 7 weeks to play as you're getting prepared for holidays, that kind of stuff. So Marty, I see your fingers are up first, so I'm going to go to Tim.
2.
I'm kidding. Marty, I'm going to go to you.
2. After Advance Wars retreated to 2022, you see what I did there?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. After I went to 2022, the 2 games that I'm most excited about for the rest of this year, one of them we have an exact release date on, the other we don't. The one we do have a release date is Death's Door.
Yes.
That's coming out on the 23rd of November. So right around Thanksgiving time, I'm really excited about that one. And then Loop Hero from Devolver Digital is still supposed to be a 2021 holiday game, but we haven't heard anything about it in quite a bit. And one Nintendo, the update for Marvel's Avengers, that is the Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
Only PlayStation users get.
That is absolutely
comes out
shite.
November 30th. I'm excited about that.
Hey, Marty, is Avengers crossplay?
It is, I think.
Let's go. Can you Google that while we're chatting? Can you double check that? Timothy Olf, I'm going to head over to Jesse Waldack. Jesse, what do you like, sir?
I'm kind of on the fence of Big Brain Academy. Originally, I thought no, but now I'm thinking maybe. And then I'm also kind of still on the fence on the Danganronpa ports.
Justin, you were out of luck. Marvel's Avengers does not support crossplay.
Son of a bee, huh? Really? You know, and something else I learned as Jesse talked about the games that he's interested. I'm shocked that him and I are friends. All right, moving on to Tim. Timothy Olf. Sir, what are the games that you are looking for? I do see some in the chat here. Ninfrendo is actually calling out Advanced Wars, TMNT. I think TMNT we did get confirmed was moved to 2022. Yep. Advanced Wars was definitely moved to 2022. But Tim, what about you? I think TMNT is definitely one that you were excited about for sure. But what else is on your kind of like, we were told it was 2021. Where are you at, sir?
Right. Yeah, so Death's Door is definitely on my list as well. I've been wanting to play it ever since it came out and had a gut feeling it would come to the Switch, or they might have said it was coming to the Switch. I don't remember, but I'm glad it is, so I'm looking forward to that one. The other one, there was another one. It might have been something that got pushed back too, but the Gunk sounds interesting too. I guess if it was going to be on Xbox, I think they said it was going to be Game Pass as well. So I am looking forward to that as well. So checking that one out. That one looked really good.
All right. Very cool. Yeah. So I will agree with you. So Wild at Heart next week. I'm excited for that. So that one's definitely got my attention for sure. Death's Door. Yes. Like I think we're all excited for Death's Door. So I'm excited to kind of see how we should almost do maybe a spoiler cast or let's play or something about with this, obviously with this group. The other ones, so those are things I know. The other ones I'm going to give you are like hey, you said 2021 and you're not here. Let's have a chat about this. I'm pointing to you, Jesse Waldack.
I'm pointing to you.
Here? Yeah, I don't know. So Life is Strange, True Colors, Nintendo Switch. That is supposed to be December, but they don't have a date yet. And that always bothers me when they're like early December. I'm like, give me a date. The other two, Tim, Outer Worlds, right? Or Outer Wild? Outer Worlds.
Outer
Wilds, right? That is the other one that I'm like, we said 2021, right? Like
yes.
That's
I don't see it on this list anymore. So unfortunately, I don't know what's going on there.
And then the final one being, ladies and gentlemen,
Outer Wilds got turned into a TBD. So
yeah. And then Fall Guys is my other one. Those are the ones that I'm looking forward to. I think Life is Strange will formulate itself in December, but I think Outer Wilds and Fall Guys is going to get pushed to 2022. But I'd love to actually hear them say something. Speaking of transparency and communication.
Fall Guys has been very quiet.
Yeah.
For a while.
Agreed. Yeah. And that's a great call, Episol. Star Fox Submergence, right? Still waiting for that. I'm really hoping that that's going to drop this year as well. So
Star Fox Submergence.
Yep.
Yeah. It's coming.
Chat. What are games that you guys want? Mecha Dragon says, yeah, shocked Fall Guys isn't out yet. It was supposed to be in the fall. It was, and it is not.
It fell behind.
Yeah.
Remember, winter doesn't start until December.
True.
It's still fall.
It is.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it.
Also, I mean, we're going to starting to have Game of the Year conversation soon.
Yes, we will.
And for once, I actually have my list ready to go. I'm not.
I do too.
Having to construct that the night before the show.
Yeah. Or during the show.
Yeah, that may have happened a time or two.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting them together right as
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, while they're getting their Game of the Year together, we might circle back around to that here in just a minute, or games they're excited about. A couple of events we want to let you know about. Right now, there is a Nintendo Switch Online game trial going on for The World Ends With You Final Remix. This started Wednesday afternoon. It goes through November 6th at 11:59. No, 16th. Sorry. November 16th at 11:59 p.m. You can get 30% off of it in the eShop until November 23rd. And also, hey, guys, remember Super Mario Maker 2?
What?
Yeah.
And remember they said there wouldn't be any more content for that? Well, they
lied.
Super Mario Maker 2 Ninji Speedrun to celebrate the release of Game & Watch The Legend of Zelda is now available and will only be available through November 21st at 6 p.m. Pacific time. You can go in and play one last Ninja Speedrun to celebrate the release of the Game & Watch.
Why?
Cool. Well,
that's a good
because
question.
you can. Because Justin, it was the easiest game to use to promote another thing that they're selling.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's why.
Because they've already put in the Zelda hooks.
Yeah.
You're right. That's right. And now it's time for Justin's favorite part of the show, Jesse's PokéMinute.
Pika, pika, Pikachu.
I hate you all.
Yeah, this one will be short today. This is kind of a follow-up of what I said last week. We originally thought that the last page of the Misunderstood Mischief Special Research Story was going to unlock on the 26th. It turned out that it unlocked on the 9th. But you'll still have until the 29th to complete the story to unlock the next Hoopa story for free. Otherwise, it'll cost you $5 to unlock it. And I finished that mission this afternoon. So this is the first time my special research story page shows everything's completed. In the last 3 months because of the story.
All right. That's it, Jesse. You came in at 30 seconds. I'm very proud of you.
Told you it was going to be short.
That was a quick nap. That was a short nap.
You can wake up. Now it's time to move on to what we've been playing.
Do it.
Mecca asks,
Justin,
when is Jesse's Pikmin pickup?
Do.
We're not doing Pikmin Bloom.
No.
Put my foot down. And then I'm putting my other one down in front of it because walking with Pikmin Bloom. Jesse and Justin are the only people who've played video games this week. So let's see. Jesse comes before Justin in alphabetical order. So Jesse, we'll start with you.
It does. So yesterday I started and I tried streaming it, but for some reason my network decided, no, you can't have gigabit upload speeds. We will only give you 5 megabit. So the stream failed. But I tried playing Lone McLonegan, a Western adventure. It's kind of a more like a Lucasfilms like point and click. I did play about maybe half hour of it last night, and then about another hour-ish or 2 this afternoon. And it's okay. It's got the same problems as most of these type of point and click games. You end up having one of 2 problems. One, there's so many things you can do, but if you miss one specific thing, you can't advance. And 2, you have so many items that you have to have some sort of magic moon logic to do things that you wouldn't normally logically expect to do, that you have to do in order to advance. I fell into the first problem and really fast. I missed like a really early conversation with a bartender, which caused me to get stuck, and I pretty much had to go to a walkthrough right away. And this walkthrough I'm following is a 2.5 hour playthrough. So the game, if you know what you're doing, the game is not that long. And the part where I got hooked up on is like the 10-minute mark. And I've had to actually reference this video 2 or 3 times already. It finally got to a point where it unlocked many places for me to go before it only limited me to 3 locations. Now I've got like 10 locations, and now I have to try to remember what I need to do at each location, and I'm going to end up having, the second problem soon, I think. So I'm going to keep kind of fighting this game a bit, but it's I normally don't like this type of point and click game. It's different than the escape room games, even though on paper they sound alike, but the escape room games actually give you clues on what you're supposed to do if you look around, know where to look, or look around enough. Where here it's just you have 5 pieces, you combine every combination of piece to piece until something happens. And there's like that's gets into the moon logic, as I was saying before. Ninfredo says old King's Quest games were like that too. Exactly. And I liked the King's Quest stories. I just didn't like the gameplay much. And, those games, you kind of have to sit there with a walkthrough. With King's Quest 6, I actually wrote a walkthrough once. So I wish I kept it because it was a good walkthrough. I wrote that when I was like 18, 19 years old. And the other game I was playing is continuing Hexseed. I talked about that last week. I'm probably halfway through the free puzzles. And it's a good. I kind of get that the Picross mind relaxing vibe out of it. So I normally play that at night while I'm listening to other YouTube videos or something else in the background. And I likely will pay for the DLC. When I do that again, for you can buy $1 a month for 12 months, or I think it's like $9 for the season's pass to get them all. They'll release a new pack the last Friday of every month. Up until September of next year. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Awesome. Let's continue in alphabetical order. Justin, what you been playing?
So ladies and gentlemen, something happened this week, which is undeniably exciting. Something that is so rare that I don't actually, as a matter of fact, if you are currently watching us streaming, or perhaps if you're driving, you're in your car, you listen to this podcast as you do, because you're one of the amazing people that subscribe to us, I'd recommend you take a moment, pull over the side of the lane, actually maybe stop your car, put your hazard lights on, because ladies and gentlemen, you're probably going to freak out. I'm a little concerned for you, so please just be careful and look for where you are. I actually finished a game this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
Yeah, finally.
Is that... Hang on. I need to Google something.
Do we have is it the first time ever?
Is that I believe that is one of the 7 signs of the apocalypse.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Most likely is. Yeah. I finally finished Metroid Dread, and I will say I don't want to do spoilers, right? So, but I will say that last boss can just die.
We're a PG show. We're a family show.
Just die as much as it can, right? Yeah. I'm so happy with that game. Such a fantastic game. I have only, I think when I finished it was like 41% complete is what I had at 9.5 hours. But man, that is such a good game. I really hope Nintendo continues to look at that franchise and say, well, there is something here special. I'm
glad you said that, because the director of Metroid, I believe his name is Sakamoto, said this week that it is not the final chapter, that there will be other adventures in the Metroid universe, which means it pretty much sold well.
Yeah, hopefully.
They never said it was going to be the last Metroid game. They said it was the last game in the Metroid saga that started in 1986 up until now. That's five 6 quote unquote game arc. You
Sure.
know, not including Prime, not including any other spin-offs. There can be other spin-offs than other games that just don't directly involve Metroids.
Mecha says that the next Metroid game is when I'll get gray hairs. I already have gray hairs. In fact, I think this game gave me more gray hairs.
So, I'm just proud you finished it, Justin. I mean,
thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you very much.
Very good on you for finishing a game.
I'm a big boy, you know.
I never got past to it since that first weekend when that third one pissed me off.
Yeah, so that I finished that excited as well. Fortnite, I have finished off to level 100 for the season, so that's great. Wavetail, I talked about that at the top of the show, which is great. Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm continuing to play, and I very much love that, and that may be part of my Game of the Year contender conversation also. And if you actually look at some of the other review outlets, they are also aligned with me as well. So Guardians of the Galaxy, if you're a person who doesn't like cloud, blah, 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 you may want to consider it on other platforms because it is definitely worth the time. And the other big thing that's been happening at my house, and I think I'm looking at it, some of the other people's houses here, Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise DLC launched this last weekend. My kids, I had said on Twitter, like, if you want your kids to do chores, tell them they have to do all the chores before they get to play the DLC. They came home and that was like, they're like, so is it out right now? Did you download blah, blah, blah? And I was like, yes. However, dishes have to be put away. Floor needs to be swept. I have never seen the dishes get put away that fast in my life. And they this weekend spent, I would probably say somewhere around 6 to 8 hours over the weekend playing it together. And they went to a friend's house and they brought it and they played with them together. Like, it was one of those, and like typically we kind of manage the kids' screen time and how much they're playing video games kind of, sporadically, right? Like, hey, you can get an hour or two here, right? Not a whole weekend. But they were like, this is the thing we got up early in the morning. We did this together. So it has been a huge hit. They were very frustrated that Brewster's does not open up or was not opening up for them. Apparently it is the main account holder, the resident, right? The resident of the island who has to activate Brewster. And of course I'm the resident of the island and I hadn't logged in to do it. So Brewster has finally shut up our island as of today.
Because they've been hogging the game.
Well, no, it's just more of I was like, listen, I'm kind of done with this game. So you guys do whatever you want and you play together and you have a great time. And so that was fantastic. But there was like, Brewster won't show up. And I'm like, I don't understand. And then I'm reading through some like walking because they were doing what we all do. They're going to Google. They're watching walkthroughs. Like, they're like, what is going on? And I was like,
can I tell you what happened to me?
Sure. Yeah.
I decided when I went to Harv's Island that the first place that I would unlock to, as part of the collective was Red, because Red has unfortunately not been at my island very much. The very first day that Red was open, and even until today, his statue is David.
Okay.
Yep. So there's a big marble penis on my screen in the family room every time I go to the collective.
Oh,
here's the deal.
There's so
now,
much about that
I realize that is art, and I get it, but also like Nintendo. This is one time where I feel like, read the room, guys. Like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, out of all
20 years ago, they would have censored the hell out of that.
Right. Yeah. So my daughter today, sitting on the couch, I'm sitting there and I'm very much, because one of the pieces of art he has is real. I don't have it. I'm trying to buy it and get out of there as fast as she can because she's on her iPad doing something. And she looks up and says, I probably don't need to be in here right now.
Something that you would not expect a child to say while playing Animal Crossing.
Exactly. Which is why, to me, that's weird. Like, I love this game. I'm not going to sit here and criticize it, but like, weren't there other like public domain sculptures that could have, or maybe just curtailed the list by one? I don't know. Like, because then later on, that's going to show up in your museum. And it's just going to be hanging there saying. So, but we've been having a ton of fun with this.
When you use Manscaped, it becomes a work of art.
Yeah. Statue-scaped.
We can just go home, ladies and gentlemen, because that is the best thing I have heard.
We've been having a ton of fun with this. I really loved the concept of Happy Home Designer when it came out on 3DS. I thought the execution was pretty weak. I didn't feel like it was a game. I felt like it was more like Yoshi's Touch and Go back in the day. It was kind of like a tech demo that they used, like, hey, we're going to try this out and see if it works for future concepts. And it did. And some of it made its way over into this version of Animal Crossing, obviously. But then with the Happy Home Paradise, even more so. It's really easy to like dive in there and work a little bit and then like go somewhere else and do something. But something else I noticed today and this happened to the first time, and I don't know if this is new or if I've just never mentioned it before or saw it before, but Isabel today, when I booted up Animal Crossing, told me which person was in my town, which special guest was in my town. She was like, hey, Flick's here today. And it was like, she didn't always do that. Like, I don't remember her always doing that. Do you guys, does that ring a bell to you, or is that new?
No,
it doesn't. I feel like she's probably got a raise and Tom Nook has empowered her to make some decisions without his supervision.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing for her, right?
Also, Brewster and I are friends now, I guess.
Tony Baker says that's new, by the way.
That is new. Okay. So today I got a cup of coffee at Brewster's and he said, hey, by the way, just wanted to let you know that starting tomorrow, you can order coffee around the corner at the counter.
Congratulations.
You lucky son of a...
Yeah.
How would you order it otherwise? I don't understand
My thing is that like you have to walk in, you have to sit down in the seat. And then he's like, do you want coffee? Because if you talk to him at the thing, he's like, if you want coffee, go around and sit down. Can you imagine this at Starbucks? Like I walk in, I've been there a couple of days. I'm like, hey, by the way, tomorrow you can walk up to the counter and order. You don't just have to do it on your phone anymore because we're friends now.
Man, that would be something.
That was such a weird thing to happen. But I'm looking forward to spending. I like it. I think it's a cool little thing to walk up there and get it. And also said you could get your coffee to go now. So I guess that you'll be able to carry around your little like white cup with the little Brewster logo on there.
That's awesome.
Hey, we're big time and over on Fartlandia. Yeah, that's the name of my island.
I like
Fartlandia.
it.
Every time it comes up now, I'm like, God, I wish I could change that.
What's your song?
The Imperial March right now.
Nice.
So yeah, that's Animal Crossing. Like I think this. Do y'all not feel like this is kind of like made this a whole new game?
Yeah, I think, and that was the point of it, right? They needed to reinvigorate their fan base for it, and I think they did a great job for it.
It's the what was the New Leaf and Friends, or what was the thing? What was it called when it happened on the 3DS?
Amiibo.
4 years too late.
And Amiibo, Welcome Amiibo.
Welcome Amiibo, yeah.
Yeah, it made it feel like a new game. I would love some of those Nintendo Amiibo, like the Nintendo characters, inspired characters, to come into the into New Horizons.
Nice.
Like there was a pig named Ganondorf and Zelda stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
I like it. Very cool. That's what I've been playing. And I think it's a little bit of what you've been playing.
Yeah,
Marty.
it is. I'll continue here just a little bit. See, I've been playing Fortnite too. I'm catching up to Justin. Just finishing up page 9 of the Battle Pass, going into page 10.
Did you? Sorry, speaking of Fortnite, did you see that next week? And I am going to butcher this. And Naruto is coming to Fortnite.
It's not Naruto as we say it down here in the South. It's Naruto.
Yeah,
I did see that it's coming, and I would like to say I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either, but a lot of people are very excited for this.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Not.
Yeah.
They did add a Jean Grey Dark Phoenix skin tonight, which is really cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hey, Jesse, how's it going, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You doing all right there? Yeah, I'm doing okay there and playing some games over there.
Oh, did he just
while they're talking about Fortnite? While they're
I'm actually working on the thumbnail for this episode right now.
I love it. I love it.
He's trying to find Tim Bits, is what he's trying to find.
He's actually doing the same thing that Justin does when he talks about Pokemon.
Yeah. Checking my email and sending off invoices. What?
Fortnite's this season, I feel like it's kind of picked up a little bit. I didn't really care for it at first, but the more I play, the more I like it. I've also been playing, Jesse, you'll appreciate this. I've also been playing Pixel Lines DX, 500 more puzzles.
I've never bought that one. It's because I never finished the original one.
Well, can I tell you this? It's EU only. It's
What?
not listed in the North American eShop any longer.
It used to be.
Well, it used to be. Well, it's not anymore. So if you want it, you need to buy it from the EU eShop, and I would recommend get it before they delist it.
Right. I didn't like the lines as much as the Picross.
I love these games. They're super relaxing for me. I just sit and play them and talk while I do it. Like we'll carry on conversations. It's kind of like you were saying that you were doing with Hexseed and stuff. And so I really enjoy this one. And it has, like, the first one had a very loose story. This one has no story whatsoever. It's just puzzle packs.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. And they're just 500 puzzles.
500
and so it's really good.
Puzzles.
Yeah. That's what I've been playing. Tim, let's finish up with you. What have you been playing?
Sure. So if you didn't see me play this past Sunday on Extra Life, just know that I've been playing more Animal Crossing, Quake, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania, and I ended the stream with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Because
did you beat it?
No. No. But I do want to say that it's just, yes, it is a game that I've been playing since 2017, day one, having the Switch. I've been playing it. Every time I get into the game, I am like, okay, next, what do I got to focus on? What's the main quest? Ooh, squirrel. What's that? I need to go this way. And, I'm going to go explore. I end up exploring. I'm like, anytime I go on the map or anything like that, and I know I'm out of focus here. There we go. Anytime I go with the map and I put my marker down and I'm like going towards that marker, as soon as that, the alert goes off that there's a shrine nearby that I need to get, it's like, it's close by. Where is it? So I go off course and I go get that one. And then after I get that one, it's like, okay, I see it, something else I need to go look at. And then I'll hear more shrines. So I'm like way off course. I'm not going towards that second monster or whatever I forget what you call them, but the second one, I still have 3 to beat. I have 1 beaten, but I need 3 more to beat. So
the Divine Beast?
Divine Beast, yeah. And Justin, you're way farther than I am, I think, if I remember correctly.
I have all 4 Divine Beasts beaten.
Yeah.
I just need to go and defeat Ganon. But there are definitely some areas I'm like, I don't feel like I've explored there enough.
Yeah.
Like there's some areas on my map that I'm like, I think I'm only at like 40 shrines.
Well, when I went to boot up mine, I only have like the southeast end of the island or whatever you want of Hyrule unlocked on the map.
Oh wow! Okay, so you're way behind.
Wow,
I still have a lot to unlock.
You've got some major towers you haven't hit yet.
Yeah, I've explored everything from the desert all the way up to around up to the north part of that. I got a lot to do. So
hey, there is no shame here. You know what? We're not
Tim,
shaming
I
you.
think can I say this? I think it would be really fun if you streamed this weekly.
Do a weekly stream of
you stream
Tim's
the rest
progression,
of this, and let people talk you through it. I mean,
it was pretty fun actually when everybody was there with me handing out. They were talking me through
if you
stuff.
guys would enjoy that, because I think that would be really cool. Because I mean, we're 4 years in here, bud.
Right.
Yeah, Tim, finish this thing off. All right.
Hey,
Justin, come on.
Justin.
I got about 60 hours in there, and it's only that far.
Sorry, what?
Quit sampling stuff and go finish the game.
Somebody asked how many hours. I think it was 60 hours. I think is what I have.
I'm going to be so it's interesting. I almost want to do, because we know Breath of the Wild 2 is coming up. I almost want to do like a 1 month or 6 weeks before Breath of the Wild 2 launches to go back into Breath of the Wild and finish off those things I want to do, finish off Ganon, and then like segue right from Breath of the Wild 1 into Breath of the Wild 2, and kind of move that momentum. Because now that I know it's coming, right? And my other commentary is like I can't start Breath of the Wild 2 until I finish the first one, right? So I do have to get that. So the fact that I was like, listen, Nintendo is delaying this for me, really.
Yes, they're like, come on, Justin, get it done.
For you too, exactly. That's
also the reverse of that is if you believe that Nintendo is delaying this game because of me, don't send hate emails to me. I'm sorry.
Oh man, Justin,
I
have not finished Breath of the Wild yet.
I think my time delayed with the original game was like 150 hours.
I have 55 hours in. I checked. It's 55 hours or more. It says in where I can check it. So. I've got that much time, but nothing to show. Well, I shouldn't say nothing to show for it. I got one Divine Beast done at least, but I love the game. It is a fantastic game. I didn't stop playing because I didn't love it. It was just, I stopped playing because we got more games and I started playing more games, other games, so
the curse.
So it was like, okay,
curse some more games.
I couldn't focus on that anymore.
I got you. Like we're not, like Justin said, seriously, no shame, but I'm going to reiterate, it'd make a fantastic series, streaming series for you.
As soon as this crazy move is done and we're in our new home and stuff like that, and I can put that on the schedule to do, I will do that. I think it's a great idea. Tim of the Wild. Yep, we'll have to figure out what day of the week to do that on. So, but that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, it's all you.
Okay. The last game I've been playing is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Abyss, I think it is, a company who gave us the code for it. Very thankful for that. They gave it to us early, so I've been able to play that early and get out a video of that early today because it launched today. Or when you're listening to this, it'd be yesterday if you're listening to this in your podcast. But yeah, I'm actually loving it. I did not play this game. I saw friends play it and all that kind of stuff. I knew about it when it came out originally on the PC. So when they announced this coming to the Switch, I was super excited about it because I knew I'd get to play this on the go. And I'm loving it. And it's basically, and there's a lot more. I was surprised at how this is an RPG, it's a role-playing game, and it's very much a D&D game or a D20 game, if you will. So all the same things that I've been used to when I used to play Dungeons and Dragons are there. So all the attributes, all the skills, all the feats that you build up as a character. In this particular case, you also are building up whether you're going to be light side or dark side. So you get a lot of those interactions with the NPCs to build. Depending on what answers you select, you are going to be light side or dark side, or in between, depending on if you fall between the two. But that gives us. I'm kind of doing the light side of things, kind of, I guess, playing it the way if I was really this person. But I kind of, some of these answers are hilarious because if you were dark side, so I kind of want to do a replay it at some point. I still got to get through this first, but I want to do a play of it all dark side, just totally being a jerk in the game. And that's basically what you are to be dark side. You're basically a jerk. So, but I'm having fun with it, and I'm really impressed by what they did with it to make it look good. Yes, it's not going to look like a PS5 Xbox version that's supposed to come out next year, I think it is. But it looks a lot better than the version that came out, I forget on which system when they brought it on the console. Was it PS2?
I think there was Xbox, like OG Xbox in PS2 era, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's
Xbox Prime.
You can see that it's up-res from those same graphics. It looks a lot better. It's not as blocky as those days. And it's very smooth, smoothed out. but it still kind of looks funny with the faces all kind of smushed onto,
it's
mapped
been on
onto
Windows,
a block.
It's been on Xbox, Mac OS, iOS, Android, Linux, and then most recently PS5 and Nintendo Switch, which the Nintendo Switch version is the old version.
Yes. But it looks good. It looks great. I played in handheld as well, mainly, except for when I was playing it for the video. Just absolute fun. It's mainly just story and exploring with a few battles. It's not hack and slash type of thing like you guys know I like, but it's still, I give it a command, tell it what to do, and it goes and it does that. So it's got a little bit of like.
This is BioWare, right?
Yeah, this is BioWare. Yes. So it's a little bit
before Mass Effect.
Of where when you tell it to go do something, you can see it happening, and then you can do other actions during that time. So it's almost real time in that sense, but it is true, role play. So again, I'm having a lot of fun. If you've been wondering about it, go check out the video, take a look at it yourself. Put it on your wish list. If you're still on the fence, maybe there's a sale that might tip you over. But I think it's a really good Star Wars game. Everybody talks about how this is one of the top Star Wars stories to play if you're going to play a game. So I highly recommend it, especially if you want to play it on the go, because I think that's the main thing that kind of gets people into it, is being able to play it, save it. And I haven't had any problems with that. I can save it anywhere and then can pick up where I left off. So that's what I've been playing.
Nice.
All right, guys, let's turn on the community spotlights.
Let's do it.
And as we go into this community spotlights, Tim, why don't you tell us what's going on in the rest of the family of Nintendo Dads podcasts?
Of course, I'd be happy to. So Retro Logic, of course, they have their weekly podcast as usual. And episode 57, this past episode, they had our friend Seth, $2 Hero, on, talking about Halo 2, and also some not weird stuff there, but they've been talking about Halo 2 mainly there, the development history of Halo 2, and plus other things that normally the retro crew talks about. And of course, you can always go to retrologic.games to go see their site of games that I think that the team is always selling there, because it's not only the podcast, it's also a gaming store for retro stuff. So go check that out. You can also read their blog, and you can also get their merch. Really cool, especially if you're in the retro stuff. And then you got the NINDADS After Dark. They had recently released their episode number 70, where John talks about his top 10 NES games. He said, no Mario or Zelda are allowed on this list, so things get weird, he says. And he played some dingbat games he loves just so much. Nintendo original system was also its best. Feel the magic, he says. So that was their last episode there. Game Pass news. They also had Seth. Man, Seth's been getting around here. So Seth was on.
He's making the rounds.
Yes. And they chatted all things Forza, 1 year of Xbox S and X being out, and of course, any weird Xbox games. So Seth being on, you got to talk about things that keep games weird, right? So Dad Crossing, of course, they're back. They're continuing to do content about the new Animal Crossing stuff between the 2.0 and the paid DLC. So keep an eye out on our channels and their channels for any videos they do or any podcast they may drop. And then finally, I have my dinner table that's coming up this Friday, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, excuse me, next Friday. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Friday, November 19th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be doing a Metroid Dread spoilers. I have a typo in here. I have Metroid Droid.
Is it not the droids you're looking for?
Yes, Metroid Dread spoilers. So we'll be talking all about that. I'll be sharing some of the clips and videos I took while playing the game. Now I wasn't able to capture everything, but I captured a lot. But it'll help guide us through the conversation and the spoilers. But I also offer to anybody who's going to be attending, if they have any favorite moments, or even if you can attend, but you want to share one of your favorite moments that you might have captured, you can DM those to me wherever you want to DM me at. You can find me everywhere, essentially. So, but I will bring that up during our conversations, and hopefully we'll be able to get it through it in a couple hours and not, spend all night through Metroid Dread stuff. But it'll be fun, I think. It'll be fun going through Metroid spoilers. Basically, if you want to participate, you can come join our Patreon or be a Twitch subscriber and join our Discord. And on the 19th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can join our Chit Chat video conference, whatever you want to call it. And that's where I'll be sharing my screen and showing those videos. And that's where everybody joins and we talk about Metroid Dread.
Nice.
So everybody who's beat it, please come and talk about it.
Speaking of community content, also just segue off of this, next week, Adam Raphael from GameReviews.com will be joining our podcast as our special guest. He is my favorite special guest from Ontario that we talked about a couple days ago. So Adam's going to be joining us. He's going to be sitting in the hot seat where Marty is right now, and so we're excited to have him join us as well. So that's next week. Adam Raphael from GameReviews.com will be joining us. So excited for that as well.
Very good. Very good. Let's head over to some questions from the community. We've got quite a bit this week, which we love our community. And if you've got questions or comments you would like to make on the show, there's two ways that you can do that. You can either email us at nintendodads@gmail.com, or you can, well, actually three ways. Let's say that. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com. Hit us up on our social media or Patreon. Or you can call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. We love voicemails as well. Mecha Dragon 101 asks us this: what do you classify as a 2D side scroller or game in general versus a 3D side scroller or game? Do you think it depends on the graphics of the game, whether or not it's a 2D or 3D game like Super Mario World versus 64, or if the player can walk around in a 3D space like Soul Calibur, for instance? Wouldn't that make Pokken Tournament a 2D and 3D fighter? It's a great question. Let's throw this over to Jesse. Jesse, you and I have been around, and I would say probably you and I and Tim, because Justin, you're a little bit younger. Okay, yeah, we're giving you the benefit of the doubt.
That's fair.
We've been around to see the transition from mainly 2D to 3D more than Justin has. What do you think about this, Jesse?
I think of it more like Metroid Dread. When you're actually playing it, the camera is fixed, so you're only playing on a 2D plane. So I would call that 2D gameplay. Even though it's using 3D models, even though the cutscenes will twerk the camera to a different perspective. Yeah, thank you, Justin. So it does show the depth in the third dimension, but when you're actually running around, you're only doing it on two axes. So I would say, that's a 2D game. Pokken Tournament, I kind of looked at a video because I've never played that, and I did see them moving around, and on both the X and the Y axes of the arena, plus jumping. So yeah, that would be a 3D fighter. Because
it does change in the middle of the match. I mean, there's a 3D element when you are far away and a 2D element when you are close.
Okay.
So I would call it almost a hybrid.
That could be a hybrid, but yeah. So yeah, I only saw like a 10-second clip, and they kept their distances, and it was like the Napoleon versus a Gengar, so they were using their ranged attacks.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah. I think for Tim, well, before I say something, Tim, what do you think? Let's respond to Mecha's question here.
About Pokken Tournament specifically?
I think just in general, 2D versus 3D.
He asked, what do you classify as a 2D side scroller or game in general versus a 3D side scroller?
Right. Yeah. I I mean, I don't think I can say any more than what Jesse already said. It's like, the differences between the planes that you're playing on.
Yeah. Your 2D games were generally left to right. Think Mario, Mega Man, even old Capcom games that were licensed like Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, things like that's coming to mind. But anything that does not go into that Z-axis plane or spin around a character, I think it's a 2D game. So
even some of the 2D side scrollers, geez, I can't talk today, have that implemented some 3D aspects, like being able to jump to the foreground or the background type of thing.
Muds is a great example of that.
That type of
but
thing.
It's still 2D.
Yes, or even Other M, where it was side scrolling for most of the game, but switched to a 3D aspect sometimes too. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
like you talked about, there's some hybrid elements, but mainly I think it's the main gameplay mechanic is basically if you're on that flat plane, that's going to be a 2D side scroller. Anything else where you can control the camera and move around and look around, that's going to be your 3D.
Two-dimensional.
So Becca brings up Crash Bandicoot, which is again kind of leads into that hybrid, because you're able to move, like if you're running towards the camera, you can move left and right, forward and backward, and jump. But then you reach a certain point, and then the camera, and then it'll shift to you running right. So yeah, kind of like Mother M does the same thing. So yeah, it's kind of I'd say it's like a hybrid, 2D game. It's like 2D gameplay that changes which dimensions you're looking at from time to time.
Yeah,
those are hard to classify.
He follows up with this question in Twitter. I think this has a lot to do with this question. Actually, he says, "What would you say is the worst year in gaming?" Early 3D, every time. Sorry. Nintendo 64, PS1 era, Sega Saturn.
So you're like
does 96. Not age well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
I was thinking through like three date ranges. Tim, you go next, and I'll.
No, I'm actually thinking because that's a good one.
Okay, Justin,
95, 96. Yeah.
I would say 2014 through to 2017, I think were probably the worst years in video games, specifically for Nintendo.
Okay.
Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. Marty said one of my date ranges. Justin said the second of my date ranges. Tim, can you guess my third? Or you want me to say it while you think?
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm thinking pre-Nintendo. This is like 82, 83.
Oh, geez, that'd be Atari.
Yeah, the Atari and television, ColecoVision era when
the crash,
the whole market crashed.
Yes,
because of games like Pac-Man, E.T. that they overproduced and undersold, and then just a whole bunch of third parties just put out crap with no supervision, and there was no licensing. That's why Nintendo invented the licensing program. And
go ahead. Sorry.
Which kind of put confidence back into the consumers.
I'm having a hard time thinking of bad years or worse years because again, I always look at the silver lining of those times. It's like you guys mentioned those times, like before when it crashed. My dad went to all the garage sales. We had the 5200 and we ended up probably owning all the 5200s in games in the area.
We got a crap ton of games because my mom could buy them for $3 each or $5 each.
Every garage sale we had like every game. So
these were like new games, like from Toys R Us.
Yeah, new games too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
and then
their bargain bins, clearance bins. You get these out of here.
And then with the 3D era, I wasn't really playing it because I was really playing games on the go. So my Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, all my Game Boys were the games I was playing, the systems I was playing during those years. And then again, with the Wii U era, when there was a Wii U game, I was playing a Wii U game. When there wasn't on the Wii U, I was playing anything there. I was playing on my DS or 3DS, systems. So it's 3DS. So
I think the other year that was probably really bad for video games in general. I think so. If we look at the actual like industry holistically, I think the early 90s were a really tough time. Now you're thinking, what? Early 90s doesn't make sense. You have to remember the early 90s was actually when video games were under fire for a lot of their content. And this is when the ESRB ratings board came in. And although the ESRB ratings board is really important and critical, and I think it's value, the kind of the drag through the streets, if you would, that the video game industry ended up coming
Senate
through.
Hearings,
the Senate hearings
combat,
exactly right. Was such a I think a downshot for the industry. Like I think the outcome with the ESRB ratings was good, and it kind of evolved it from being a kid kind of industry to something that required ratings, right? Something similar to what you'd see for music, or something you'd see similar to TV shows and movies, right? Then I think the other part of it, as well as a lot of the and this is a bit of a dark topic, but when you think of some of the gun violences that have been associated with around the world, a lot of it comes back to, this person plays a video game. They play Call of Duty. They play this, they play that, right? And so sometimes there's they're playing Grand Theft Auto, right? There's some correlations of content in regards to the general mass populace and kind of the consciousness of thought around something, and then the actual industry. And I think at times video games has been kind of this scapegoat for a lot of things. And unfortunately, I think that doesn't help the industry as a whole, because you can scapegoat like some reasons, but the reality is that's such a small glimpse, and unfortunately sometimes the video game industry is blamed for those things, right? And I don't think that's naturally, I don't think that's a true correlation, but it's a fear-mongering correlation, and I think that's a dangerous spot for an industry to be in. So that's kind of my soapbox rant.
In high school, I actually wrote a paper on video game violence and how it was overblown. I thought, it was basically my argument to a newspaper article that I read, where they were talking about that, what you were talking about, how parents or people who didn't know were talking about how violence was causing these issues in the games. Games were causing violence, or games were the fault of all these things. And I had a counterpoint to that article that I had to write. So
yeah, it's so interesting, right? Because and there's so many, whenever a video game becomes popular in society, right, it's very easy for that to kind of be a target of a lot of things, right? So Grand Theft Auto is a great example of it. Like, did you know there's a game where your objective is to kill hookers, right? Next, after the weather, right? Like there's this kind of like natural news kind of scapegoat. Let's fault those things. And then I remember even seeing articles when Fortnite came out, and they're like, this kid puts in 16 hours a week on Fortnite. And the mom's like, he seems just very dissocial. And I just bring him his lunch to his room and he just plays video games. And they're like, video games can rot your mind. You're like, no, yes, but maybe parenting would be a good idea here. Right. Like maybe unplug the device and tell them to go outside and control screen time. And like, so it's one of those statements of the ownership of it. Right. And so Fortnite all of a sudden is the popular thing. So now everyone's like, oh, well, my kid plays a lot of Fortnite. Are they going to become crazy? Right. And it's that kind of statement of like, no, you need to manage your children. You need to be a parent. You need to be engaged. You need to manage screen time. You need to set boundaries. You need to set consequences, right? You can't let your children be ruled by a screen. And so unfortunately, there's this kind of this insidious evil idea that video games literally will just seep into your brain and will rot you from the inside out, right? And this is kind of the way the mass media has spun it in a lot of cases. When you look at, especially if people are like, what are you ranting about, Justin? Ladies and gentlemen, go to Google, search in like mid-90s news clips of like video games, video game violence, the Senate hearings, any of this kind of stuff. But it cycles, right? It was Mortal Kombat. Next, it becomes, Call of Duty. Next, it's Fortnite. Next is Grand Theft Auto. Like just add whatever it is, it becomes that insidious thing, right? When the reality is that the connection, the correlation between those things are almost none, if any, right? And really is like, no, if you just engage, be a parent, do your job, right? Help your kids out, make them be proper social people, then you're all right. So this is my soapbox rant of like when video games have become scapegoats for just problems in society, that's frustrating.
Just like Episode says, just like comics, books, music, all those things. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's like anything. Like too much of anything is a bad thing. Right. We all know this, right? Like, yeah, I would love to sit at home all day and eat McDonald's and play video games, but we all know that I'm going to die early from that. Right. And I'm going to be like not a good person. So balance is critical for anything.
Sorry.
Listen. God bless America. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys just do whatever you want down there. Right. So, yeah.
It reminds me when I, part of my bachelor's degree, right? And the composition class that everyone has to take and no one likes, the only thing that kept me sane doing that class was I tried to write on things that I care about.
That's why gaming, I wrote that paper, and it was for English
for as much as I could.
Language
and
arts.
So that was our persuasive paper and our informative paper kind of had to have a shared link. The whole point is, as you're doing your research, you collect sources that could be used for both, or you find a source that may not be useful for one but could be used for the other. So, like, I ended up my informative paper was history of sex and violence in video games. This is starting back like with Custer's Revenge. So Google that if you dare, if you don't know what that is. In the Atari 2600 era. This is around the time that GTA 4 was just released. So this is still PS3, Xbox 360 era. And then my persuasive paper was why I think GTA 4 should be a rated AO.
Nice.
So
did you keep that paper?
I might have them somewhere on a shared drive, but I did get good grades on them.
Nice.
I'll have to look for those.
I see Mecca's statement of I appreciate how Justin has turned my question into a life lesson. Sorry, Mecca. Apologize.
That's what parents do.
I was about to say that's exactly what dads do. Well, son, I know that this has been happening to you, but let your old dad sit down here and give you a little history lesson from my own life. 2 hours later. That's how I married your mother. A couple of questions here from Discord. Chris HL94 asked, if the future of games is cloud/digital sales, wouldn't backward compatibility no longer be an issue for any console? Separate question, what is the ideal physical medium for games going forward for those who insist on buying physical discs or carts?
So,
okay.
For the first question, I would say kind of true. Well, still depends. Because recently the xCloud servers, or whatever they call themselves now, recently upgraded themselves from Xbox One like hardware to Xbox Series like hardware. So even though you're playing the same games, they are now running on more powerful hardware. Whether you tell the difference or not, who knows? Because the video compression and the lag mulches a lot of that anyway. So, but say if the next generation Xbox just completely by its architecture is not compatible with Xbox Series, then those games would have to run on separate hardware even to stream. You may be able to access them with the same stream service, but they would have to be run on different hardware. So that's kind of a mixed maybe answer.
Yeah, I'll kind of maybe reverse engineer the question. Which medium do I not want physical in anymore is discs, right? I think that discs can just become scratched too easily. I think they're too bulky. They can be chipped very easily. So if I was to say like a physical medium, I would think cartridges. I do like the Switch cartridges, although this will sound odd. My argument is I actually think they're too small, especially as a parent. Like I took one out today and I'm like, oh, where did I put that? Right. And I was like,
yeah,
just need to make sure. I'm like, it's right.
Yeah.
So
this
I think
is a good size cartridge.
Yeah.
I'm holding up in television's Donkey Kong.
Yeah, you're not sucking that up with the vacuum. Or if you are, like you see it and you're being deliberate about it.
Right.
Right. Where like the other one, I'm like, oh my gosh, it would just take a moment. I remember I was cleaning out the car one day, or our SUV, and I'm like getting the vacuum ready. I'm like getting my hands between the crevices, right? Pulling out stuff. I'm literally pulling out DS cartridges because my girls had like taken the DS in the car and they were on a road trip and they were just swapping cartridges back and forth and they like fell down in the cracks or whatever. And I'm like, oh, there's Mario Party. Right. And so like, had I taken the shop vac in there, would have been gone, never saw it. Right. So if we're talking physical, I'd prefer the cartridge. Talking about kind of the future of gaming, we can get on a soapbox about clouds, but I'm not going to. What I'd really like is just a unified account system. And so really, really what I mean this is like whatever Nintendo's next console is, I don't want to have to buy Mario Odyssey again. Right. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have to like any of that stuff. Like it's an ID. I log into it. I basically want an Apple ID, but it's a Nintendo ID. And whatever platform I go, whatever they have, all I have to do is put in my credentials and it logs me in and I have access to it.
PSN has been doing this since day one. It still has records of all my PS3 purchases, all my PS Vita purchases, even though I don't have those systems anymore.
Yeah, that's what I want, right? And Nintendo doesn't do that, and that pisses me off because the amount of times that I have bought Super Mario 2, and that's on me. I recognize that. That's also on me, right? But like, come on, right? Like that is like when that is the biggest thing that I get angry about. And so, really, that's the situation that Google Stadia is in right now. And I'll use that as an example, right? All the games all the games I have for Stadia is tied to my Stadia ID. And guess what? My Stadia ID is my Google ID, right? So I sign in, boom, they're there. I can literally jump on a browser and I can jump in playing them. The accessibility of it is critical. So I think what we really need, again, especially in using your question here, Chris, if cloud gaming is the future of stuff, whatever it is, right? Just accessible IDs that allow you to grab that kind of content. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. I know GameCube discs are really fragile. I don't know if I have any that still work because they're all scratched up or lost.
I think that, as I think about this moving forward, I don't want to admit that cloud is the future, but it probably is. The problem I have with that and the issues I have with that is that cloud means that we don't ever really own anything.
But
does that make sense?
But you don't own anything anymore. Like your Apple ID, your music that you stream, your Netflix library. Like we have slowly been moving towards a digital entertainment infrastructure for a while. Now I know, Marty, you live in the boonies, so it's a little bit different than you, right? But like I haven't bought a CD in probably 5 or 6 years. I have not bought a physical DVD.
I haven't bought a CD, and I can't tell you when.
Probably DVD so we've already as a society made this decision to go digital. But like, and there's digital books, there's digital like all these video games is kind of the last frontier. But the reason is the price tag on video games is so much higher than these other things. So the value seems crazy. But the work that Xbox is doing on Game Pass, that's it, right? That's your Xbox. That's your Apple Music equivalency of it. And the amount of people that I have seen that says, I will just buy a Game Pass subscription for a year. Guess what? You don't own shit. You own a device, and even you don't even need to own the device. I could do it for a web browser. Right. Like we're already moving that way. And I know that there's people in the chat are going to get angry at me. They're like, but I want physical. That's fine. There's still a place for vintage vinyls, right, for music. You can still buy
vinyls. Have outsold CDs for the first time.
So there becomes an industry for it, but we've been going this way for a while.
Justin, let me push back on this, and I'll say this: that the only reason that Game Pass is what it is because Xbox has crap all for first party games.
No, I don't think that's true.
They have to have Game Pass.
Well,
because if they don't have Game Pass, they have Halo. And
they have good games, but they have 5 instead of 15 or 20.
What they have done, they have gone out and purchased it. They have made an acquisition, and they have made a value statement, which is, this is the method we're going to use. You're right. They don't have the first party lineup the way they would normally. Right. But they're still saying, we've got the library to do it. Right. We can, like, I don't know. I think that is the banger of an idea. And I think that's the way future's going to go. Like, I literally think about buying an Xbox a lot. And I'm like, all I'm going to do is get Game Pass. I'm not picking up a physical thing. Why would I? Now, again, I realize that at the end of that life cycle, I don't own anything except for that device. That's it. But that's the same thing with my iPhone.
That also depends on the type of gamer you are too, because it's like, I've learned over time that I keep pushing forward because I end up not having time to go back to older games that I did like to go replay them. As much as I'd like to go back and replay a lot of the Metroid games I love, I just don't have the time. Maybe when I retire, that would be nice, that old folks home we talked about, where we go there, they better have a good setup where I can play all those systems through the years that I loved and be able to play those games. But again, it comes down to, how are they going to be able to do that? Are they going to be using the old cartridges? We found that the old cartridges, some of those don't work anymore because the batteries go, or the batteries leaked and got all over those and all that kind of stuff. So it's just basically what kind of game, going back to what kind of gamer you are. It's just basically what kind of gamer you are to decide, once you play a game, are you going to go back to it because you loved it? Like, I love Metroid Dread, right? We've talked about that possibly being a game of the year for a lot of us. Am I going to go back and play that again sometime in the future? I would love to, but when I look back at all the other games that I've played, I may have played them, a couple levels, and then I don't go back through the whole thing because I'm moving on to the next thing. And I'm slowly learning to have to let go of the past and just go ahead and just do the Game Pass thing, or do the thing where it's not going to cost me much, because I've realized that I'm not going to go back to those games unless it's in that library. Like what we got with NSO, being able to go back to Super Nintendo games, because that was my favorite system. Yeah. Is every game on there that I love? No, it's not. But I can go back there and play it whenever I want now because it's there in the cloud, and I can, or however they work it, and play it. And, I can play Super Metroid whenever I want. So
games is still unique because it is a fluid medium. It's really easy to update a game. Well, it's not impossible to update a movie. I'm looking at you cats. You can even change music. I'm looking at the Aladdin soundtrack from 1992, 3. If the original theatrical release and what you see on a DVD, the songs changed. Anyway, but they can happen, but it's really hard to do because someone who still has that first print disc will have that first print song. But like someone who wants to play Shining Diamond Pearl, whatever that is, 20 years from now, if the update servers are not up, they're stuck with 1.0.0 and not even going to get the day one patches. And in terms of, and while you said a lot of people are not even buying DVDs anymore, I still do buy Blu-rays on movies and stuff I want. Like I just picked up Neon Genesis Evangelion Blu-ray for the first time, and of course I still rip them, so I have a digital copy in my library, but I still have the physical disc.
Yeah, I think there's so I agree. There's a couple things I want to say here. So first, $2 hero, Seth. Your statement of like Microsoft super cares about bringing people into Game Pass. My argument there, and I think you and I are on the same page there, Seth, is that Microsoft is using games like Halo and like Forza as the hook to get someone into that ecosystem, right? Like here you go, it's coming out. Like here's the deal: I've subscribed to Game Pass because Halo's coming out in December. That is the big game. I know I want to play that. I want to play with my friends. You have got me in, right? Instead of me dropping that money. That's what they want. And that's how it's going to work. And I think they are changing the game. And that is the model we need to look at. Here's the other thing about games. I think games has a different lifespan. I think maybe this is just what we're talking about then a movie or a CD has, right? When we think of a game can be immersive, right? It can tell a different story. You can feel very connected to the character in regards to, build your own, I think your level of emotional, intellectual, and I think in a lot of ways physical investment in a video game is different than movie or music, right? These are passive entertainment where a video game is usually an active entertainment, right? And so I think we become vested in a different way. So I think that just that investment, that storytelling creates a different value proposition for us in terms. And so these are some hard disconnects as well. So, but we've ranted a lot about it.
Good discussion there. One last quick question here from Mark Campy, who is a brand new patron of the show, by the way. He says, what are your thoughts on 8-Bit Christmas coming up on HBO Max? For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it's a brand new movie starring Neil Patrick Harris. It's a Christmas movie about a child's desire to own a Nintendo, an NES, when he is young, and how that has affected him as an adult. I think it looks hilarious.
It's how I met you. That's how I met my NES.
Yeah, it basically is. He asked if any of us are looking forward to it, and then I asked, have any of us watched Playing with Power on Crackle? I am looking forward to this movie. Day one watch. What about the rest of you guys?
I'm also looking forward to it. I showed the link to the trailer to my wife, and she wants to watch this as well.
Yep. I'm definitely on board and watching it as well.
Becca goes, so it's a gaming version of A Christmas Story? Yeah, it kind of sounds like what it is, yes.
So up in Canada, HBO Max is under a service called Crave. So I know how a lot of you have like HBO Max, you get like the day it's released. In Canada, some of those things, so like Wonder Woman's a great example of it. The Mortal Kombat movie, that was on HBO Max, as I recall, right? Those come to us several months later. So I might not be seeing it until February or March, unless I decide to pay for HBO Max as a separate line, which I don't know if you can do here. They may end up pushing it day and date here, but typically they don't. So I may
just
have to
reach out to them, Justin, and see if they'll send it to you on a DVD.
Yeah. Well, we've done
VPN.
reviewer codes before for videos. Remember that?
Yeah.
Insert VPN endorsement here.
Yeah. So we definitely be looking for it. I've not watched Playing with Power on Crackle. I know it's a Nintendo documentary.
I completely forgot about that because I don't have Crackle. I've never used it before.
Isn't Crackle free?
You can download it on your PlayStation, Jesse.
Yeah, I think it is free. I just forgot about it.
Crackle, Smackle. I don't know.
I started watching it and I don't remember.
And that's Playing with Power?
Yep.
Yes, Playing with Power is a documentary. Yep. So it was actually, I remember it being pretty good, and then I only watched the first episode because I think it's a series.
See if it's available up here.
There's another one, the one that Charles Martinet voiced that was on Netflix. I watched a couple episodes of, and then never finished. It's a shame.
Oh,
don't know which one that is, but
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Crackle is not available in your region. Screw you.
You can probably watch it on.
Justin needs to look at the VPN. Look at
that. Crackle used to be available in Canada. What the hell happened here?
Okay.
We have to do watch parties. We did talk about watch party for that, but because of the time frame that's coming out, I was going to look into trying to do it, but just I'm too busy with moving. So
right. Well, guys, that just about wraps up episode 351 of Nintendo Dads. Thank you for hanging with us this week. As we close out the show, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers. That's Dave Ernsberger, Antonio Contronio, Metroid Hunter 101, and Solo Something. Also, we want to say a huge thanks to our YouTube subscribers, 5,799 of you that are subscribing to us over on YouTube, and almost 1,200 on Twitch. Also, 24 of you have Twitch Prime and toss a subscription our way, which gets you access to Discord and all the other things as well. We want to point you guys over to nintendodads.org. You can check out our website for all kinds of things, including our social feeds, email addresses, merch, and all that good stuff. And again, you can call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NINDADS or 929-256-3237. We'll play it on the show. We'll answer your question, or you can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music we use throughout the show. And a reminder, wherever you listen to us, whatever your podcast app of choice is, go there, leave a 5-star review, write some nice words about us, help people find the show. So this has been episode 351. Hope you've enjoyed it. For me, for Justin, for Jesse, for Tim, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
You gotta get your together. You know what I'm saying?